Hello, everybody. Hey, hope you guys are having a great day today. Hey, I wanted to go over one of the trade setups that I'm pretty much always in when it presents itself, and it's called a pivot retag, coming from a position where the TTO, the trap trader oscillator, shows that it's in either an overvalued or an undervalued situation. The people in the room call that a TTOX. And the key thing here is that the pivot retag, coming from an over or undervalued situation, when it does the retag, it needs to have a rocket on it. Okay. And the rocket means that it's got people trapped on the wrong side of the trade. So when it advances, away it goes. This trade works really well. We only take it on structure, but it works really well because most good pivots deserve a retag. Okay. So that it's very common price action that the market would leave a certain area of a support or resistance area, come back and retest it, and then move on from there on its way. On the screen are two examples that I like to show. First, we'll take a look at up here, where the first is we're looking at, okay, the first thing that brings your eyes to it is that the TTO has become oversold. It's above this 80 line. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would look at and say, okay, I know I have a red background. If you saw my chart set up, that means I'm only going to take shorts on a red background. Market structure has broken this structure reference by at least 2 candles. And then it can come back and give retests to whatever. But there's a pivot here. The pivot's happening from a position of being overbought at that point in time. And then the market moves down, but then it comes back and does a quick retest. Okay, this is kind of the classic pivot retag. I'll talk about the 4 different types of retags here in a minute. But then what you see is that this particular one gives a nice rocket signal right here. That means that there's lots of people trying to buy, but price is just not going up. And then when the next candle goes against them, they all need to then undo their positions. And as they do that, they become market sellers in the auction process, and price advances on its way through there. So I'm always looking to see, okay, what should the right take profit and stop loss settings be? Should there be a break even? And so I do this exercise every weekend where I go back and I'm always looking at the last 4 weeks of this particular setup between the hours of 9:30 and 12, which is when I'm typically looking to trade. Okay, so here's another one here where in this case the pivot retag happened right here. This is called a level 1 pivot retag. This is a different type of retag where there was a pivot. Price came back down. You see it looking at the rocket here, and then it shot back up. And again, pivot retag with a rocket, away it goes, coming from a position of being overbought or oversold. When you look at the stats on this particular trade, again, for the last 4 weeks, I'm going to play with this real quick. And you can see it returned a profit of $3,132 with a drawdown of only $418. The profit factor on this was 307. It traded 14 of the 20 days. So you don't see this trade every single day, but when you see it, it's winning at an 80% clip. And so you kind of need to be in the trade. It went maximum 8 consecutive wins with 1 loss. And over the last 20 trading days, this particular setup is 33-8 for an 80% win rate. I'm always playing with these things. What I find works best is with a 16 tick stop and a 16 tick take profit, going to break even at 12 with a profit target of 1 seems to give me the best numbers. When I take away this and go just 16, I drop from 3,100 down to 2,800. My drawdown goes from in the 400s, it's up to the 600s. My profit factor went under 3. An interesting thing about this particular trade, though, where if I do shorten my my stop, okay, down to 12, it gets a little interesting because I'm still 33-8, but when you look at this, my profit factor jumps because the losing trades don't go that far back, okay? And even better, I think that my best setting on this is actually if I just do a simple 12-12 setting on this, yeah, 35.70. It's a couple dollars high, but look at the drawdown on this, only $181 drawdown across 20 days of trading. if you've listened to my business plan recording, I'm trying to make $1,000 a week. This has given me 3,500, almost 3,600 in a month of over 4 weeks. This would almost make my entire number with very little stress, okay, with only $181 drawdown. So I'm going to consider that. I'll probably continue just to trade it as a 16-16 with my 12 take profit, because that's what I'm really comfortable trading it with. But it's pretty good stuff here. So that's today's. That's one of my major setups that I try to take this every single time it presents itself. That is a pivot retag with a rocket, coming from the very first pivot being in an overbought or an oversold condition. Hope you guys have had a great day. Hope you're understanding what I'm talking about. Ping me with questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer anything that you guys have. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.